All right, now that we have our testimonials page in place, we're just kind of working our way along the list of pages that we decided we would need. So it's time to work on the history page.
Okay. Here's our testimonials page. We're not going to actually be duplicating it this time. Let's go back and duplicate, say, let's duplicate the products page.
Okay.
And the reason is because that background was
adjusted.
Right, had been adjusted.
Right.
And we're not going to need that this time.
Gotcha.
So let's start off here. Let's get rid of our log products once again.
And we'll just change the text from products to history.
History.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. All right, and let's go ahead and get the copy we need.
Mm-hmm.
At the beginning of this Word document, I believe we have history. Here it is, company history. And let's get the long version because we need the long version.
Right, because there's a page all about the history.
Mm-hmm. So let's copy that. And we're going to go into Photoshop and select the text tool.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see how our font status is. Oh, it looks like we have our old friend Rockwell back. Let's go back to Georgia.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why, because he was selected.
Ah, gotcha.
So I'm going to undo that. I'm going to create a new type box.
Okay.
This time I'm going to make it kind of a narrow column.
All right.
And we'll go back to Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll put it on auto. And we don't want it to be alt capitalized. And we don't want that. So, and we do want it to be a color of white.
Okay.
So I'm going to paste in our text. Hopefully it'll be formatted correctly. There we go. Oops, undo. Let me zoom in here, see what's going on. Okay. Oh, I see. We have that baseline shift going on.
Yeah.
Okay. But it's no problem. We can work around it.
Absolutely.
So this is our column. And with every block of text, it's always nice to have a photo of some kind for the history. Oh, right. We had the cabin on the home page. So let's see if we can find that. That would be up a level, right?
Mm-hmm. And log cabin down a few.
Right, here we are.
And it's probably just going to take a second to open up.
Right.
It's fine. It's the computer remembering that it's got a hard drive and that there's some things in that hard drive that it can access.
Shuffling around the bits and bytes.
There we go.
Here we are. And I'm not going to age it like I did before. I'm going to just use it so that it's a little different when they see it. I'm going to go ahead and close this. So now let me zoom back so we can see everything. So we don't need it this size. We're going to make it smaller. Hitting Control T there.
Mm-hmm.
Shift to constrain. And then I'm going to make it smaller.
Okay.
Now, you can't see it, but there's much more copy down here. There's, in fact, 3 paragraphs that we copied out of here. But Photoshop is only showing this much because we put it in a box, in a text box.
It's just truncating.
Right. So we're going to use all of that text. We're going to try to get it all on the page.
Okay.
So I'm going to go ahead and make this guy smaller. In fact, because it's split up into 3 paragraphs, I'm going to split this up into 3 columns. Split the text up into 3 columns.
All right.
So I'm going to make this guy a little bit bigger.
So he'll kind of go on the bottom of one of the columns?
Exactly.
Gotcha.
At least that's the idea. We'll see how it works. Okay. Because Photoshop does not do columns, because it's Photoshop, and you don't buy Photoshop to do columns.
Right.
I'm just going to
you have to kind of fake them.
Yeah, you have to fake it. I'm going to duplicate that layer with all the text in it 3 times.
Mm-hmm. And then just delete out what you don't need.
Right.
That makes sense.
I'm going to move them over.
So you're moving 2 of the layers over,
right.
and then I guess
I'll
now
move
you'll
just
deselect
one.
Yeah.
Yep, and then move
There
it
you
over.
go.
And so I'm going to, from each of these columns, delete the unneeded text.
Okay.
It shouldn't take too long, I hope. Oh, you know what we can do? Let's undo that. I can just bring this up, can't I? For you. Anyway.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah, at least for the
and
first
then you can
one.
just delete the first paragraph and
Right,
the second
the first one.
Oh,
I
there you
grabbed
go.
the wrong thing. There we go.
And
All the
just
way up.
Pull that box up.
Yep. And then for the last one, it's a little more tricky. Here we are. Let's zoom in. Okay. So how's that? Let me move my picture up just a little bit. And this, keep in mind, of course, the web page is going to be whatever height there is for content.
Sure.
So
the web page will actually stop.
Right. It'll stop right here.
Right.
Well, it won't stop, but the footer will appear down there, right here.
But since we're in Photoshop, we're not going to move the footer because that'd just be more of a pain for us than anything else.
Right.
It's just something we need to keep in mind as web designers.
Right. And so I want to add one little more flourish here. I'm going to add a drop shadow.
Okay.
I'm going to make it not quite so dark. A little more subtle. I'm going to back off here and see how it looks.
Now, here's just a thought, and this might be kind of overdoing the aesthetic anal retentiveness, but do you think maybe it would look nice to have the log cabin kind of facing in toward the text? Like just take that image and flip it over?
Flop it over?
Yeah.
Let's try it. Let's see what happens. We'll find out.
I'm not sure if it would look any better, but it might make the whole thing kind of feel a little more enclosed to have the log cabin facing inward.
Sure. So we can do that real easily. We can go to, I believe it's under Layer.
Actually, I think it's under Edit.
Edit?
And then Transform.
Transform.
And Flip Horizontal.
Exactly.
Bink.
Okay. Interesting.
I don't know if I like it or not. I'm going back and forth. What do you think?
Let's look at it a little closer. I think I like the other one better.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah.
It looks a little odd
somehow.
Yeah, I don't know how it could possibly look wrong. But
yeah, I don't either. But it does.
But it does.
So somehow it doesn't work anymore.
So I'm going to undo it.
Yeah. Weird. Oh, well, it's worth a shot.
That's right. It's fun to experiment. You know what? I'm going to trim off a little bit. You remember earlier we cropped it?
Right.
I'm going to just trim off a little bit off the top and the bottom using our select and then hitting delete.
Sure.
And this will help it fit in.
Go ahead and name that layer.
Yeah. That's the cabin. And so, I believe this is looking pretty much what we had in mind. This is not a very complicated page.
No, it's a very simple page.
Right, it's a very simple page. But
it's mostly just text and a picture.
Right.
There you go.
Okay.
And then, of course, like we mentioned earlier, the footer will come pretty much right up to the bottom of that image, so you won't have that extra hanging blue area.
Right.
So that is going to wrap it up for this page, and I guess now we'll go ahead and move on and take a look at putting together the contacts page.
All right.